Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup TV, your one-stop shop for all the reality needs you could ever need. We give you the tea so you can happily drink it. I bungled that intro to hell and back, but we're just gonna keep going. Hi, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel and also your genius expert for this deep dive into the sixth episode of The Genius, a game that we have seen across every single version of The Genius to this point, and probably the most unique way it's played out in a while, leading to, in my personal opinion, the best episode in terms of a main match that we've had so far. But before we go on and get into that, I have just a couple small requests for you. So, first, if you love The Genius or any other reality TV content from across the globe, if you like Survivor or Big Brother, maybe you're more on the side of Destination X or Million Dollar Secret, we cover everything here, so please feel free to give us a lovely subscription and ring the bell below, as long as give us a like. All of that really does help us out because we are pushing towards 1,000 subscribers. The moment we hit that, we can bring even more amazing content, as that unlocks a lot more ability for us to interact with you. Now, if you're interested in drag, WWE, Eurovision, we also have channels for those under the Cup banner. If you head into our description and look into our link tree, you'll find all of our lovely channels for that. And while you're there, if you want to listen to us on the go across any of those channels, you can feel free to find our audio podcast streaming almost anywhere where you get your audio podcast needs. If you like me, which thank you, or want to keep up with us on social media, you can feel free to follow the Cup Pod or myself at Jack the Flop, both on Twitter and Blue Sky, as well as Instagram. And if you are looking to potentially get a lovely cup mug, yours will have two logos compared to mine, which is a very nice upgrade. But if you're looking for a cup mug, feel free to head to lanagcreations.etsy.com for all of your cup needs. Once again, that is lanagcreations.etsy.com. But with that, we are just about ready to dive into the third to last episode. We are well over the hump now, and I am very excited to see how the rest of the season plays out, especially this episode. Now, for this episode, we start at the top 6. Just about half of the cast remains in the game, and this is a perfect number for a classic game. As players begin to pile into the room, they are kind of dissecting what happened last week with Indy's elimination. Last week, it was a very hard set. Ken, Bodalia, Bex, and Allison versus Ben, Charlotte, and Indy. And very much also Ken versus Charlotte, both of them having ideas on how to control the game. Ken was just more right because with Safari Race, you just have more control if you have more people, especially with how spread out everything was. So both of them look at each other and go, we've both kind of shown that we're great competitors. Let's just see how today goes. And as everyone else begins to pile in, we get the announcement of today's main match, which is Diamond Dilemma. Now, this main match is very special because it has been played in every single version of the Genius produced so far. In South Korea, it was originally called Kong's Dilemma with the exact same rules. Over in the Netherlands, it was one of the games played when there were 6 people left as well. And here, once again, we have a lovely 6-person game. of Diamond Dilemma, and there is a good reason why this game keeps being brought back, because it is iconic. Here is how you play Diamond Dilemma. Players are randomly split into 2 teams of 3. In their teams, the goal is to win 3 of 5 rounds of the game. In order to win a round, you as a team must submit more diamonds than the opposing team. Every player has 10 diamonds. Every player at the end of a round will simply walk into the dealer's room and submit as many diamonds as they wish. The team that successfully gets to 3 wins first wins the main match. Now here's the problem. The team that wins the main match doesn't necessarily all win. On that team, whoever has the most diamonds remaining, aka contributed the least to the team, gets tokens of life. If they're the only person to, they get 2. If it is multiple people across the team, everyone gets 1. So, an entire team can work together to win, but one person can easily undercut and take the win with them. Now, on the other hand, on the losing team, the person who spent the most amount of diamonds is the deathmatch candidate, with, if everyone is tied or multiple people are tied, the winners will break that tie. So, the game is simple. Make sure your team wins by submitting diamonds, while also making sure you have enough diamonds that if your team wins, you have the most, or if your team loses, you don't have the least. There is a reason this game keeps being brought up, and it is because it is incredibly simple, but there is a lot of mind games behind it. This is easily one of the most simple but psychological games that almost anyone can understand from the genius, and our split of teams is potentially the most interesting split possible. We have Ben, Ken, and Charlotte on the white team, and we have Bodalia, Allison, and Bex on the red team. Now, obviously, Ken and Charlotte were both going at it last episode in terms of strategy. Ben has also been on the outs for being a strategic mastermind. And then we have Bodalia, Bex, and Allison, who've all been really good socially and trying to get themselves into positions where they're not viewed as threats or problems, potentially at the sacrifice of them being viewed as easy drags. So we have Team White, being Ben, Ken, and Charlotte, being the majority strategy team, and we have Bodalia, Bex, and Allison being the main social team. I don't think this could have been engineered in a better way. We also have Bodalia and Bex both being a duo on red, and we have kind of Ben and Charlotte being a duo on white based on the last game, but also Ken and Charlotte have looked at each other as kind of wanting to work together here, and Allison is kind of working with everyone as well. So we have a lot of interesting connections. Now, we go into the first round of strategy for all of these teams, and I'm just going to refer to them as Team Strategy and Team Social because red and white isn't really descriptive enough. Team Strategy immediately realizes, hey, the other guys are probably going to play a lot more passive. Let's immediately throw 9 into the pot in order to just try and get us a win. And Ben, Ken, and Charlotte all agree to it. I want to say that Ken suggests it, and Ben and Charlotte are like, yeah, you know what, that works. This kind of all-in strategy, it is very risky, but if we land it right, it will absolutely win us this game. And over on Team Social, we have a relatively simple strategy. Everyone is kind of wary of what are the others going to do in this opening round. We know they're really strategic. We don't want to push things too far. And they all kind of agree, let's just play it kind of simple. Let's go 4 to beat their 3. Bodalia agrees, I'll take the hit at the start. I'll just submit 2 and pray that this all works out. And immediately, both teams are actually looking for that kind of 3-person win. No one is looking to directly betray each other in this game, which is very different from how we've seen it in both South Korea, where there was a lot of between team negotiation and people trying to screw other people up, and it became really chaotic. And Netherlands, which to my memory kind of just ended up being someone betraying and getting the win almost out the gate, and it was really boring. Granted, I haven't watched Netherlands in a while because I love that cast. It's very boring, and it's not a season I really want to go back to watch anytime soon. So we get the round 1 results, and everyone is told the truth. Ken, Ben, and Charlotte all submit 3. Allison and Beck submit 1, but Dahlia submits 2. Results come up with Team Strategy winning the first point and Team Social submitting 4 total diamonds. Oh, just for clarity, the results are displayed as the winning team winning a point and the losing team showing how many diamonds they spent. With the general strategy of this game, like a lot of the games in this series, is lose by a lot, win by a little. That's just your optimal play here. So, Team Social immediately at the start of round 2 just kind of goes, let's let them keep spending here because they obviously threw in 5 plus. And Allison suggests, let's just submit nothing. But Alia's worried because obviously he already threw in an extra diamond. Like, he's already kind of on the back foot. Bex is also kind of wary, so the 3 of them end up just compromising. Hey, Allison, you just submit 1, and then Bex will get you to submit 1 extra in a future round, and we'll just play off that. They're consistently playing off the idea of submitting 1 more than a multiple of 3 because they're from what we've seen, they're consistently thinking that the strategy team is going to play a very basic strategy of let's just make sure we have a multiple of 3, we can all play even. They're going to submit 1 more than that in order to try and beat just barely. And the white team at this point kind of just goes, yeah, no, we're just going to continue with the strategy. We're going to go 3-3-3 again. Screw it. Let's just start talking and, like, learning a little bit more about each other. And team strategy just, talks a little more. They get to relax. It's a very easy strategic decision. Team Social decides we're also kind of done. We're just going to wait. Bex goes in to kind of disrupt team strategy as well and is like, hey guys, like let's just, I'm not really sure. The others aren't really being so open with me. Team strategy almost immediately clocks and says like, sure, we'll let you spin that story, but that's not the truth, and we kind of know it. And we go to the end of round 2. And once again, everyone is basically told the truth. All of Team Strategy submits 3 diamonds each. And only Allison from Team Social submits a diamond, meaning that Team Strategy overwhelmingly wins the round 9-1. But obviously, only the red diamond of 1 is shown to Team Strategy. Now, Team Strategy basically has a decision to make. They can either decide, let's try and end the game on round 3 by going all in on 12 and hope that they haven't figured out what we're doing. Or we can hold back for a little bit, let them play a bunch of diamonds, and then we'll just attack in a future round. And after a little bit of conversation, team strategy in round 3 just decides we're going all in. Nice and simple, we're going to go for 12, and we're going to hope they panic and do something dumb, and they don't submit enough, they think we submitted way too much early, and just lock it in. And if we're wrong, one of us will be going to the death match, but like, hopefully one of them will screw up in some way and we'll be fine. Team Social is feeling the pressure. They, once again, are thinking, okay, how much could they have submitted here? They've consistently beat us. I mean, they could have divided 999. Do we push for 10 or 13? Just upping by 1. Realistically, Beck's just throwing in the extra. And, I mean, over time, they talk it out more and more and realize we probably just need to play it safe here. They probably are trying to go all in. Let's go all in as well. And they decide to submit 13 diamonds. Now, as I said earlier, the goal of this game is to lose by a lot and win by a little. If you're keeping track of the notes here, if Team Strategy submits all of their diamonds this round, they can't ever win another round, meaning that they lose outright as long as Team Social submits a diamond in each of the remaining rounds. So, going into the results of round 3, we have a situation that we've never seen before in Kong's Dilemma, at least to my memory. Team Strategy goes with what they said. Everyone submits 4 diamonds. We're all good. Team Social, Bodalia and Allison both submit 4. Beck submits 5. They have 13. They win 13-12. And, yeah. Team Strategy knows they're screwed. The only way that Team Strategy can win at this point is if Team Social submits nothing for 1 round. That is the literal only way that they win the game. And by win, I mean go to a tie-breaking round. Because that is literally the only option. And I think even then, unless the Team Social has also submitted everything at that point, I believe Team Social probably wins that anyway. So Team Strategy is just boned. There's basically nothing they can do. So small problem. Team Social, immediately after winning this round, gets into their heads of, we've lost. We're basically done. They played us for fools. They won 2 rounds off of basically playing it perfectly, and now we're done. They could have upwards of, like, I think the number is they could have upwards of about 12, 13, 14 diamonds, and they're just going to perfectly outplay us here, and it's over. Team Social is fully in their heads. They are worrying about something that does not even exist. And they are getting paranoid over quite literally 0 issues on their team. While Team Strategy is over in the corner going, well, we tried, we lost, there's literally nothing we can do to stop this game at this point. They're not going to have someone run over to Team Social and disrupt things. It's just fully over. So one of Ben, Ken, or Charlotte, as long as things go right, is going to be the deathmatch candidate. And it is purely on whether Team Social will stay strong. It will be two of them in the deathmatch. Or if one of them screws up and accidentally sends someone on their own group to the deathmatch. And basically, the person that betrays the others would get to decide who isn't sent down. It's essentially a prisoner's dilemma of if everyone in that group decides we're just going to play it nice and even, everyone wins. However, if one person or two people get overly paranoid and hold back or try and screw over the group, the person that is either not chosen by the one person who got paranoid or didn't get paranoid at all will be going to the deathmatch against who everyone has thought to be the three biggest threats on the cast in terms of deathmatch knowledge. So, Red just decides we're going to play it safe. We're going to just submit 3 on each. We have enough for it. And we're going to pray that this isn't our downfall here. And all 3 of them submit 3 gems each in round 4. They see strategy has submitted nothing. And they win the point. We are now at 2-2. And essentially, Team Social's already won. With the small caveat of Team Social thinks they've already lost. Team Social is convinced that Team Strategy has played them for fools. They all only have 1 gem left. There's no reason to really strategize about this. Yeah, they're probably all going to throw it in, but they just need to prepare to go to the death match, and it's going to be really sad that 2 of them are going in and 1 of them is going home. And we see a back and forth between Bodalia and Bex and Allison in the corner going, they really have played us well. I mean, at this point, I guess we can just all submit our gems, but I don't know. Let's just all play this at the end like a team and just make it easy. And for the final time, they all go in. For the second round in a row, all of Team Strategy open their lockers, see that no one has just randomly gained another gem, closes their locker, just says, well, we can't submit anything. Bodalia goes in, unlocks his locker, throws the gem in. Allison unlocks her locker, grabs her gem, throws it in. Bex hesitates. Bex cannot remember the conversation that she just had about what the hell the team is going to do. They never fully agreed on a plan, or they didn't perfectly decide what action they were going to take in this round. So Bex doesn't know if she should throw it in or not. Is Bodalia playing her by suggesting they all throw it in? What is happening? And we don't see what Bex puts in the pot if she does. We do see that both Bodalia and Allison have. Meaning, if Bex throws her diamond in, then simply put, all of them are safe. All of them win. Everyone gains a garnet. More garnets go into the pool, an extra $1,000 for the group. If Bex doesn't, however, she does secure her own safety alone for no reason, and she gets 2 garnets. And we see the result. Unsurprisingly, Team Red has won this main match. Bodalia, Bex, and Allison are all on that team, and we reveal the locker counts, and oh my god, Bex didn't submit her gem. Bex wins this main match alone, and by the look on her face, she looks over to Bedalia first and is like, yeah, we did it. Oh, shit. Bex did not realize that Bedalia's plan was not to screw Allison, and that she basically hallucinated a plot to throw Allison into the death match when no, the plan was simply to make sure everyone was safe and to actually play with the team. So, unfortunately, now one of the 3 of them is more than likely going into the death match because all 3 on strategy are looking at social and being like, yeah, those are good deathmatch drags. And yeah, it's not a question. Bex Bodalia gave Bex the token of life last round. Allison is like, hey, they're gonna drag me. I need the token of life. I'd really like the token of life, Bex, especially because you're screwing me over here. But unfortunately, Bex just repays the favor and saves Bodalia, thinking, Allison, you just won 2 death matches, like, almost in a row. They're not going to throw you in again. That would be really dumb. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Bex also basically immediately decides, Ben, you're the deathmatch candidate here. It's, like, not a question. Which, yeah, Ben has been pissing off Bex for multiple rounds, so this only makes complete sense. And Ben basically doesn't even hesitate. He's like, I'm not taking Ken or Charlotte. Are you kidding me? I'm absolutely going to drag Allison into her 3rd death match of the series. Meaning we have Ben and Allison in a death match when realistically it could have been Ben and Ken or Ben and Charlotte. And I mean, I don't necessarily know how this game plays out differently if that occurs. I know that next round probably ends up being a lot. It might change things going into the semifinal, but we will see because this is very much a game that I feel like Ben should have recognized, and I'm not sure if he did or not. This is Picture Hunt, also known as Same Picture Hunt in Korea. In Same Picture Hunt, players are placed on a conveyor that is 20 spaces long, and they start on space 10 of 20. On their turn, players select one of the 16 symbols hidden behind letters on a board, hoping to match the symbol in front of them on the conveyor belt. If they get it right, they move one piece up and then do the same thing again with the next symbol in line. If they are incorrect, the conveyor is dragged one piece backwards, letting the last piece on the conveyor belt fall to the floor, and a new piece is put at the finish line. There are 2 ways for this game to end. Either a player manages to cross the finish line on their turn, resulting in their victory, or a player falls off the conveyor belt by guessing incorrectly too many times, leading to their defeat. I personally have some opinions about this game. We've seen it a couple times before. This game was played multiple times in the Korean version across multiple seasons. I am very happy that we did not introduce the garnet advantage that had happened before. where someone starts on 8 and the person with the more garnets starts on 10, because in that case the person who starts on 8 is basically screwed. uh I personally would have preferred this to take the format that we'd seen it in, I believe it was season 3 or 4 of Korea, where everyone starts on 12. Or we just reveal the tiles to everyone for like 10 seconds at the start. We reveal the hidden tiles at the start of the game for everyone for like 10 seconds and then play the game. Because the one issue with this game in general, and we see it almost immediately play out. Ben decides to go first because he's the deathmatch candidate and he can decide instead of the person who's dragged for some reason. I don't know. I still don't necessarily agree with that change. But Ben decides to go first, picks a letter, not his symbol. He gets dragged back one. Allison then picks the exact same letter, revealing no new information. The reason I have an issue with this game not giving any sort of information to the player is because the person who goes first can simply lose by being unlucky. And there is no counter to this besides getting lucky by seeing the right symbol. There are 16 symbols on the board, and if you get 10 incorrect at the start of the game, you are immediately eliminated. Meaning that choosing 10 letters on a 16-letter board, you could just not choose the right starting symbol for you and you can go home because you didn't choose the right thing. And we nearly see that happen to both players. Ben eventually gets it right at around, I want to say it was choice 5 or 6. And Allison then basically have the exact same things thrown onto her, where she doesn't see her starting symbol until turn 10, the last possible moment that she can. This is the one complaint I will always have with this, is a player should never be eliminated from this game because they just had bad luck. There should never be a strategy that just directly gives you the option in this game to be like, well, this dominant strategy is unbeatable unless you get lucky. And yes, poker games exist. We kind of saw it with Poker Face, where Ken nearly got screwed over by the cards. But in that case, you can at least bluff and get your opponent to fold incorrectly, getting those chips back, even if you weren't going to win the round. Here, there's literally no counter beyond get lucky. And, just do the exact same thing that happens with Same Number Hunt. For clarity, Same Number Hunt is a game where players are given a board of 16 numbers and symbols. I believe the numbers 1 through 12, and plus, divide, times, and minus. All of those are revealed for about 30 seconds at the start of the game, and then they are not revealed until they're called on in the game itself. That kind of memorization could help. Don't show players their track beforehand then. Keep that hidden until after the 30 seconds have passed, then distribute the symbols. There's a lot of ways to solve the inherent problem of this game, and I get not wanting to change it, but I think this deathmatch is inherently flawed. We do see, at least in South Korea, they start on 12 at equal footing in the last time they play it. And in my opinion, that's the safest way to go about it. There is then a 75% chance that the person sees their symbol first and can do something about it. It's It's still a little rough, to be honest, but it's better than what we got here, where essentially Ben gets his symbol right first, and then basically passes the bomb to Allison, and Allison can't defuse it in time. Allison does manage, when she is at the edge after getting enough wrong in a row, to then save herself. And this is the moment I think it does turn from luck to skill, because Allison did have a chance to save herself. Allison Allison's next symbol is what was called, as what Ben called it, and what I call it, honestly, the blue raspberry. It was essentially, I want to say it was 6 or 7 blue hexagons. This symbol was revealed earlier in the match, and Allison forgets where it is. Ben actually makes a run deep, about 4 or 5 symbols deep, and successfully gets to the point where that blue raspberry is, but decides not to reveal anything because Allison cannot remember where the symbol is. She reveals things that were not, she reveals letters that weren't already got, and unfortunately, Allison can't exactly recover in time. Allison falls off the board, meaning that Ben has won his first deathmatch and dethroned the deathmatch queen of the season in Allison. This does suck, because I think at this point we've seen that every single player in the game really did have their strengths, and honestly this cast is really strong, so it sucks seeing anyone go. But Allison specifically had a lot of just good raw power and was constantly underestimated, but still made really strong moves the entire time and won 2 death matches. She was repeatedly dragged for being weak and still made time, still had a really strong game. And we haven't seen an older woman on any Genius game before this point. So Allison sets a really, really good precedent of what being an older contestant on the Genius can look like, and how that can be a really, really strong asset. And I would love to see Allison back in the future for any sort of mental game. Maybe a quiz show, maybe hell, throw on the Traders. I think that'd be just really fun, especially because she is a crime writer. But I will also say, on the other end, I know for a fact, just based off of everything, Ben studied the Genius a lot before getting on the season. He has been a fan of the Genius for years and years and years. He absolutely had seen this game before, because it comes up in season 1 along with multiple other places in the series. So the pressure of having a game that you have absolutely seen before and having to play that live, and then realizing you screwed up in that moment and having to then get lucky hitting, and then actively strategizing your way out of that situation, it shows a lot of resilience from Ben. And I mean, that I think that's the best thing you can do is say, yeah, I won a death match on the Genius, because Ben absolutely played it smart, and I think he should be really proud of this win. It was pretty well earned, even if I have some issues with the design of the death match overall. But we do have a little bit of info for next week. Everyone was curious on how a cast of 11 can be whittled down in 8 episodes. We saw how Netherlands did it, and it wasn't great. They ended up defaulting to one final elimination during they added a weird twist to the final episode that absolutely never could have come to fruition because it would invalidate the whole series, where certain players came back and played against the main cast, and if they won they'd come back into the game. But then also the top two who did win then went on to play one game to decide the entire series. And I hated that. Thankfully, we have a very different format here. Next episode, we are dropping 3 players off. We are playing seemingly a brand new game. It may have looked like Stormy Stock Market, but it's called Media Moguls or something different. And according to Alex, one of the main producers of the game, it is a brand new game, which is great. The last place player of that game is immediately going home. They do not even get to participate in a 3-way death match where one other player will come out and survive. So, next episode, you need to win one of the 2 games, being the main match or the death match, in order to make it to the finals. And especially because it seems like the last 2 games are very individualistic, I am very excited to see how that goes. This cast has been very heavy on loyalty and not betraying each other, and I think at the last moment they may decide to screw each other over, especially when then we have the classic 3-round final match with jury support going into the finale. This could get very, very interesting very fast, and I am so ready to see how this series ends. And hopefully we can get a series 2. I wish the absolute best. Hopefully US also does well. But players, my brain is not working anymore. But everyone who's listened, thank you so much for being here. I just have a couple more things to talk about before I get out of here. If you enjoyed listening to my voice dissecting this wonderful episode of The Genius, feel free to subscribe below or follow on whatever podcast platform you're using. Maybe the button just lit up in rainbow and like, you're not gonna not click a rainbow lit button, right? Like, come on. You can also give us likes and follow us. We are looking to expand our network as far as possible, specifically on YouTube and across all our YouTube channels. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers because that way we can give you more interesting content and more involve you in our content in the future. Speaking of those additional channels, if you head into the description below and click our link tree, you can follow our drag channel, which is popping off with a lot of stuff recently. We're going to talk about Dragula. We're going to talk about King of Drag, which has just dropped its cast today, and it looks amazing. You can feel free to follow us for our All-Stars coverage. We are also going to be talking here about Destination X with our lovely exit interviews, and our first exit interview was really good. You want to check this show out. We also have WWE, and Eurovision season is just about ending, but feel free to give us some love on both of those channels. In addition, if you're looking to catch us on the go, in that link tree as well is a bunch of places you can listen to us in audio form, all in one place. If you did enjoy my content here, you can feel free to follow me or the Cup Pod on Instagram, Twitter, or Blue Sky using the @ below. It's either the Cup Pod or Jack the Flop across basically all social media. And finally, feel free to get our lovely cup mugs at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Once again, that is lanagcreations.etsy.com. This is the best mug you will ever own, and I promise you that because I use it daily. And it also is maybe like 10 years younger, but like, I can't promise that to you. It's made me 10 years younger though, so like try it at least. Like who knows? But with that said, I am gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and hopefully I'll see you soon for the last 2 episodes of The Genius. Enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers!